Greetings, everyone. My name is Corey McCarthy once again for another special live edition of Concrete Curriculum on the Sit and Talk platform. Happy to be joined by Boston City Council member and value community partner Brian Worrell, Councilor Brian Worrell. Just gracious to have his time, having to take his time as usual. He's everywhere. I think folks. I think sometimes I always tell people and I talk through like um, what true like politicking is like, right? And the stronger politicians, they are more like partners. And that's how that has this sort of like relationship that working in the Boston Public Schools and just like as a human, I think, Council Worrell has been communicative. He's been active, and he and his brother are just doing really good work in the community. So a lot of my questions will be powered by the young people that I communicate with who have some questions, and I have a couple questions as well. And it sounds like we have somebody else who joined the table, who joined us, and I can only imagine what CW stand for. So whenever he's ready to come off mute. But anyway, until he's ready, we're gonna go from there. So, Council Worrell, I know it's a tough time with the budget. There's a lot of angst going on in the political climate right now. I really, I'm not a politician. I hate politics, but I don't really try to get into that. But I think for the young people, who majority of the folks who follow the work that we do are young people. I just want to like tap into like, what's your background and how the hell you ended up in Metco, and then where'd you go after that?
Yeah, no, good questions. And first and foremost, I just want to say thank you for having me. And then also, I just want to thank you, Corey, for all that you do, not only for our young people, our BPS students, but for the city of Boston. You have put in systems and invested and created programs for young people throughout the years. And if we can measure the impact, I think you will be at the top of whether it's educational impact, public safety impact, or belonging impact. Like you have
Appreciate
done a
that.
lot for our young people. So thank you
Appreciate
for all
that.
that you do.
I speak through the young people. I mean, the young people speak through me, so like you know how that goes. But I
Yeah,
appreciate
no, absolutely, man. And born and raised right here in Boston. I grew up in the best neighborhood in the city, what could have been the capital of Massachusetts, Dorchester, right over there by Ashmont. My parents are from two islands in the Caribbean, the smallest island or the easternmost island in Barbados, and then one that is a little bit more world renowned and popular in Jamaica. When I was young,
not a bad combo. Not bad.
yeah, yeah, so they call me Mix Up. Um, but Metco kid ever since I was, in kindergarten. The school I went to in Metco was Lincoln and Lincoln Sudbury High School. After high school, I went to Northeastern University by the way of Balfour Academy. Balfour Academy, if people don't know, it's a summer program which I advise all parents and any rising sixth grader to go and look at. But it's summer school. But there's free field trips, there's free SAT prep, and you get exposed to college classrooms, I believe, in 8th grade. And what that did for me was give me confidence. It gave me the skill set to know that I was always going to college, right? Because I was already there in 8th grade. And it also gave me a real pathway to go to college. Because if I went to if I went to Balfour Academy and got into Northeastern, it was all paid for. It was a full ride. So college was real for me. Like it was within my grasp. I was always on the pathway. I knew I belonged. Although my parents never went to college, like it was laid out for me.
Yeah.
And thank God that was there, because I always tell people that my parents were the best magicians in the world, that they had me believing that we were rich, but until it was time to come and pay for college, that's when I really realized, like, whoa, we are broke.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that's honestly that's the only reason why I went to Northeastern was because they gave me the most money. At Northeastern, I studied entrepreneurship and accounting. I also got my real estate license while I was there. So I started selling homes at the age of 19.
Damn.
Yeah, yeah. The first home I sold was to my aunt. It was over there off of Dorchester Ave. And it was kind of crazy, still kind of crazy to me that a 19-year-old could sell his aunt a home, but it just kind of speaks to the information and the way that our community, or the information that our community has to navigate the real estate market. The fact that a 19-year-old can educate his aunt on how to buy a home and where to buy just kind of speaks to the information sharing that does not get to our community in a way that it's supposed to. Um, while at Northeastern, I studied accounting and entrepreneurship. I also opened up other businesses like a music company alongside my brother. And after I graduated Northeastern, well, I'll put it like this. At Northeastern, and I attest to Northeastern, anyone looking for a good school to go to, check out Northeastern because of the co-op program.
Okay.
Co-ops I got at Northeastern was I got to work at First American Title, which is the title insurance company. I got to work at New Boston Fund, which is a real estate investment trust. What they do is invest money into a portfolio, and then that portfolio manager goes out and then buys properties, um, and then gives the investors money back on the money that they invested into the fund. And the other company that I worked at was New England Patriots when they were winning all those titles. So check out Northeastern. Um, After college, I was able to land a job at one of my internships. Unfortunately, it was not the Patriots. It was New Boston Fund, but it was a great company. And it just kind of like, it got me right into the workforce right away. Um, my passion, although when I was younger, I always wanted to make a whole lot of money, but my passion was always how to find ways on developing the talent that was within my community. Because when I was in high school, I started seeing like the difference between my friends around the way that were going to Boston public schools, and the experience I was having at Lincoln Sudbury. And I always felt that the young people around the way were far more talented than the young people that were at my high school. The only difference was the resources and support that was
Opportunity.
given right to those young people in Lincoln Sudbury. I remember watching a young person in my church, like he would draw houses like in middle school. And like every Sunday, he would just be drawing houses. I'm like, whoa, like that's insane.
Right. I suck at drawing.
Yeah, but he was like drawing it to a T. And then also I remember like a lot of young people like committing to memory, like some of the m- like whether it was music, whether it was the you know what they could just commit to memory like everything that they learned. And they could spit it back. But then on top of that, like they had a very unique talent of putting words together that was just like funny but witty at the same time.
Right.
And those are talents that if we develop right within our young people that are within BPS within our city, like those are like doctors, lawyers, all types of careers that they can expand.
Yeah.
So I've
So
always yep. Go ahead. Sorry.
the soft skills are inherent based on,
Right.
and it's like, I think you bring up such a great point because the learning curve is high. It tends to be poverty, right?
Exactly.
We use the same words that the gazillionaires use. So, like, instead of like in the world of like um, entrepreneurship, right? The folks who make money, they call that entrepreneurship, but we call it hustle.
Right.
We tend to not put two and two together to your point, some of the most talented people I've ever met were from the streets or from the community.
Facts.
But like to hear that you're able to leverage those sort of like skills, because I believe to your point with the brother who's drawing, it was like it's inherent that you have this talent, but then like the opportunity isn't always there.
Right.
And there's a gap that needs to be addressed.
Exactly.
And I appreciate that you're trying to then flip that into putting that mindset into the community. But how did you land in politics from there? Because you could have just kept going another route and never looked back.
Yeah. And I think that's what motivated me, because there's too much talent. And I've always wanted to create structural change to make sure that that talent is developed. And there was also a selfish reason as well, because I feel like if people in my community are doing better, then I'm doing better, right? Like whatever I'm selling, people are buying more of in my neighborhood, right? People are doing better in my neighborhood, there's less crime, right? If people are doing better in my neighborhood, then there's more businesses opening up. So there's also like a real selfish reason, on me, on wanting to see people in my neighborhood do better. So in 2021, when people were talking about structural change and, changing institutions and, making things just not going and conforming to the status quo, I was like, politics is talking my language. And I had a little encouragement from my brother as well, who was inside of elected officials' office. So I put my name in the ring. And then, we won a 13-person primary.
Wow.
We topped that ticket. And then we went on and won the general election. And 4 years later, we're here serving out in my third term.
That's amazing. That's amazing. It's you got quite the story, bro. You got quite the story. But I always really, really enjoy when folks who are involved in the political entanglements that we call City Hall, who really want to communicate with the young people. And one of the things that you got happening, you got going for yourself is like this sort of like commitment that you and introduce yourself and come off the mic before I start using my Bayesian accent.
Corey, when your wife is out working, and you got 3 kids, you got to make sure everyone's to bed before hopping on.
It's all good. Pleasure to have you. Introduce yourself before I continue.
I'm Christopher Worrell, Brian's brother.
The famous brother. He's the famous one. This is State Representative Christopher Worrell. But before that, y'all probably heard him. That voice probably sounds so familiar because it's been on the radio for 20 years? And he has a gospel ministry that started at, was it Big City? And now it's on Spark FM, gospel radio for the last 20 years. You might know him as Chris, but we all know him as Brother Chris.
Brother Chris. Brother Chris.
But he's also our state representative for the 5th Suffolk.
Yeah, and I'm all about educating the community a little bit, and
absolutely.
It's just like having a glossary of success, right? And I'm gonna jump back to the question I was gonna ask you, Brian, but I'm gonna ask Chris this one, right? Like glossary of success. Chris, what's an earmark?
An earmark is
what's an earmark? And the reason, listen, I'm not even playing with you. I'm not testing the community's knowledge, right? What I'm saying is there are certain things that folks have to know. By the time a kid's in 7th grade, they need to know what a GPA is.
Yeah.
They need to know what AP stands for. But folks need to know what the term earmark. What's an earmark in your world?
Earmark is every year there's a budget season, if it be municipal or state, and an earmark is, say, if Corey came with sit and talk to the elected official to put an earmark within the budget, asking for funds. This year, the House 2 weeks ago, we passed a $63.3 billion budget, and 160 state reps filed earmarks. I think it was, the total number was, I think like 2,400, 2,800 earmarks
Mm-hmm.
for their towns, cities, and stuff, for stuff statewide that they near and care about.
So when the state house, what was that number again, Rep? 63?
63.3 billion.
And how much are earmarks?
I'm not sure how much are earmarks,
If you
but
had a guess,
it's not half. It's nowhere near half. It's
I
nowhere
mean like
near a
$1 billion,
billion. No, nowhere near a
100
billion.
million.
A couple hundred million.
So when the state tell y'all run up on these state representatives, you just heard it, 63 billion and a couple hundred millions in earmarks. So don't let them tell you that they don't have no money in that state budget.
But so but the thing is this too. Yes, it's easy to file and it's hard to get. Like we could file anything. The thing is, we had a tight budget due to everything that's going on from the feds, and also we're trying to be fiscally responsible.
That's
Mm-hmm.
that's a word. That's a word that say they want to try to, not lend it all out.
No, so in Massachusetts, we probably have one of the best rainy day funds in the nation. I think we're like top 3 in rainy day funds. So we have a reserve that's healthy, and we continue to hit goals. We have FIFA coming in, which our numbers should skyrocket in revenue, and so on. So, it is still tight because we are playing defense to a person in the White House that any day could
No,
say
no.
whatever. If you look back in November, SNAP was on the on the
On the
docket.
chopping block.
People were losing it.
Yeah. It was on chopping
Yeah,
block. Yeah.
and
Even
we were
Medicaid.
having conversations like, hey, do we tap into the rainy day funds? We held out. We did private public partnership, and got it through. Now we were able to substitute for a little bit of time, then snap back in. So
I mean, the thing is that having that representation, right, is I always bring up Malcolm X, and and we talk about Malcolm X, and no disrespect to anybody. Malcolm X said, "Hey, like if you're gonna throw me dancers, if you're gonna throw me comedians, if you're gonna throw me celebrities, I don't want it because they're not the ones that are knee deep in protecting the greatest needs of the community. It's folks who are in your seats." But I think that and I mentioned this the other day, like there's a messenger and there's a message, right? And I think we have to improve in those areas as a community so that we could have that upward mobility that's generational. You guys are in great positions to help the community. And it's a lot of pressure. And I don't know how y'all do it because I couldn't. But I think for you, Brian, I'll get to you, Chris. Like in all of I see you being on Ways and Means, and currently in the committees you sit on right now and you lead. Like one thing about our community that's missing is strategy, right? And for our community, right, like what would be considered a strategy that the community could support folks who are in City Hall or in the State House with?
Yeah, no, that's a
I
great.
love that question.
Yeah,
That's an amazing question.
that's a great question. There's a lot of parts to that.
Well, let me hold on for a quick second.
Right.
I know sometimes folks come together and they want things from politicians, and then but they can't name it.
Right. No, you're right.
There's no strategy, right? So or like if I want a kid to if I want a kid to learn how to read more, I am looking at the conditions that kid that's preventing that kid from reading. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is this a key strategy that we could sort of push the the young people or push the community to get behind?
Yeah. So one strategy I'm pushing. Well, I want to say this part first. One, I want to say that as elected officials, especially that represent and come from the neighborhoods of Dorchester, Roxbury, Mattapan, those neighborhoods. The things that wins races to get the people that you want that know that they share your values and your priorities into the seat is you need to volunteer and get involved in those campaigns,
Yeah.
whether it's knocking doors, making phone calls, or helping that individual raise money, because that's how we get, the state reps, the city councilors that are fighting for us, working for us in those seats. So get involved into a campaign, know how one runs, and that is very, very beneficial to, what comes into your neighborhood.
Hmm.
And then that skill can be transferred, in every other campaign that will impact, your neighborhood, whether it's the state senator race, the governor race, or the mayor's race. One of the things, the policy that I'm pushing right now, I do have a good amount. I'll give you two. Um, and I say that democracy, we tend to push people so much on voting day, but that vote only gets that person in the seat. What we need to do a lot more as a community is to make sure that we're paying attention to what that person is doing while they're in the seat.
Hmm. Accountability.
And it's not enough just to watch. Like, we need to help share that information on when we are watching and communicate that out to the public. So we need to make sure that democracy is a everyday, and it's like a contact sport, right? We got to watch what hearings are going on, what votes are taking place. We need to show up to the hearings. We need to speak at the hearings, and we need to write letters and engage with our elected officials. One of the things that I'm pushing right now, this is kind of education based, since I'm talking to one of the greatest education minds in the city right now, and Chief McCarthy, is that we are looking to create a service/civic year curriculum or policy in the city of Boston, which means that if you are going to BPS, I believe that that young person should be able to engage in an internship, in a volunteering program, or in a capstone program where that young person is engaging in something of their interest in writing out, whether it's an essay or a portfolio on something that they're passionate about,
Hmm.
that is a social
Hmm.
issue or a career goal that they might have.
We talked about that as a cognitive asset, right?
Right,
That's the reason that's replaces the MCAS, right? Like
right.
it's
Yep.
a show me what you know kind of thing. Show me what you learn, right?
Show me what you learn. Right, and,
Yep.
it's not only it's soft skills as well, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not just what you learned in the classroom. It's also the soft skills. If you're on a job, right, you're gaining soft skills, communication, right? The fact that you got to go and present, right, what you have learned is building confidence in public speaking, right? So it's a lot more than just the technical skill or regurgitating what you read in the book. Is the ability to gain skills that can be transferable across a whole host of industries. It's also the research, right, that you're gaining when you're writing the essay or diving deep into that career or passion. And it's also leaning into that interest of that student, which I believe we don't do well. We don't do enough of in the education or in our district when we're teaching our young people. So I think like that is why I'm passionate about it. And the other part that I'm passionate about is high school, especially public high school, is probably the only time or one of the few times that you can make mistakes or transition from interest to interest and not pay for it,
Mhm.
right? So this is your opportunity to explore a wide range of interests, careers, and we need to make sure that our young people in our community have that ability, and we're giving them that exposure.
Good. Good. As someone just mentioned, how do you manage? How do you all? And I'll get to you in a second, Chris. How do you all manage the amount of asks coming your way, and so that the community doesn't really feel ignored, because it's part of it. Part of them. Everybody wants something for their community, and I think my answer would be like, because we don't have a strategy, right? Because you can always point back to one when there is one that's prominent. So I'm really just
Yeah.
pushing one, and that's just putting out there.
Yeah, well, when it comes to the strategy, and I hate to say this to people because everyone's like the meeting and the meeting and the meeting and the meeting, but we have to meet. Like we have to meet in order to come up with a strategy. And that meeting needs to make sure that we are putting, our collective good above anything else. And then I do believe that we also have to understand that there has to be shared sacrifice, right? I mean, that might be time for some people. That might be
Freedom is not free. Freedom is not free.
It's not, right. That might mean like we have to pony up some cash, but there has to be a shared sacrifice.
Yeah.
And then we also have to, I think we end up, and this is a good thing, right? Like we have to dream big, but we also have to make sure that we celebrate the small wins. Because sometimes, that street light on the corner of Geneva and Seaver Street is broken, and getting that fixed, we need to celebrate. And then when someone speaks in the community and says nothing ever gets done, right? We can't let that be our truth, because we know a lot has gotten done with our young people, right? There's people who be like, oh, there's nothing for our young people. That discredits all the work that you do, Chief,
Mhm. Mhm.
every weekend. So we got to be able to speak up and give people the right information on what is happening here as well in our city, because there's a lot of people doing good work, and the only thing that sometimes deter people from joining in and being part of these organizations or working with government is because we are constantly telling people that we're losing.
Yeah.
And no one wants.
It's a
And no one,
deficit mindset.
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And who wants to be part of a losing team?
Right.
Like, you ever had a student, a basketball player, like, let me go join that 0-16 team?
We down 30. We down.
Right, you're down 30. Like, we wanna go join that team.
And we got the best players. And we
Yeah,
down.
we got
30.
we got the best, most talented players.
But we down 30.
So but we down 30. So we gotta stop doing that, and we gotta recognize and celebrate the wins, and speak the wins, and let them know that we coming for more.
Absolutely. Chris, what do you strategy?
Strategy. So the State House is a lot different from City Hall. Everyone knows at least 3 to 4 city councilors. I can name all 13. Some of us can name all 13. But when it comes to the State House, we have 160 throughout the Commonwealth, 160 different state reps and 40 senators. So when it comes to strategy and what we want, we have to show up. And I often tell groups that look like us on this call, I don't see that often in the State House. And when they do come, when you go to a party, Corey, and you don't know anybody, and that first person you see that you're side by side. It's like, no, it's like
trailing them at that point.
Exactly. It's like there's so many groups that came to my office on bills and budgets that I'm signed on to, or I even filed, and they're coming back to talk to me. It's like, no, go talk to, you have 159 other state reps here that need to know about this bill. So one of the examples on strategy is there's Transformational Prison Project. It's a group of formerly incarcerated individuals. They came up with a bill that will end lifetime parole for minors. So these are minors who had offenses, did time, and came out. And when you come out, you're on a lifetime parole. So you're always on a bracelet. So they came to me, said, "Hey, Rep, can you file this bill?" And the first thing I said, I better see you guys in these hallways at least once or twice a week, talking to different reps and getting your bill out there. So they started with me. I was the first person. I filed it, so I'm one of the co-sponsors. By the end of last year, so in the legislative session, we have 2 years. It's 2 years. So by the end of last year, they had 37 co-sponsors. So they worked the hallways from people from Springfield, from the Berkshires, from Orange, all the way down to the Cape and the Islands. And that's how you work in the State House. It's not just throwing it out and see if it sticks. You got to work the hallways. I only could do so much, and I always tell people that their stories really move elected officials to get behind a bill or a budget amendment or an earmark. So
Right. I
it's the truth. Yeah, it's the real stories.
A struggle has to tell the story, right?
Exactly.
I think oftentimes people mistake that for a complaint, right? Sometimes
Yep.
you can't complain your way into change without really like appropriating a particular action that people could get behind, right?
Yeah.
Because people are beholden to outcomes. And I think
I want
there's
to.
go ahead,
And hold on. And the thing is too, with City Hall, I'm not saying it's easier, but it's easier because everyone knows the problems that Boston has, right? Everyone knows, everyone knows the Boston problems. If you talk to someone in East Boston, they can tell you what's going on in Dorchester. Um, Better than a person from the Cape and the Islands to tell you what's going on with Dorchester. You see the difference? So it's people across the Commonwealth that are voting for our interest, and so the fight is getting the real story out there. And City Hall, I feel as though you have 13, and they know you have 4 at-larges that know pretty much the landscape of Boston that are gonna hopefully be with you when you're advocating on something.
Yeah, and I want to add to that a couple points. Is I know that people kind of, especially like I always hear it all the time. You be like, how you when you go up to a brother and you be like, how's everything? You be like, I can't complain. And I'm like, nah, you can't complain. And it's okay to complain. And everyone got something to complain about. And I think we got to get back to, and I hate calling it complaining, but advocating, for ourselves, because you never know, right, who can help you or who can they connect you with. So we got to like really advocate for ourselves and our community in a real way.
And
The other thing
Corey,
that I want to say is
hold
the
on,
last part I want to say.
before you leave that,
Okay.
we have been advocating the day we came out of our
Oh,
mom's womb. We
my,
have been, when we needed milk, what did we do? We cried until our parents got us the milk we need. That's the kind of advocate that's the kind of advocates we need in this day and age. We need to make noise until it's time to get what we want.
yeah. And there's a famous quote that says, "If you're silent about your pain, they will kill you and tell everyone else that you enjoyed it."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know,
So you got to advocate.
I'm from Barbados, so like one of the politicians when what a in Barbados, obviously, it's like social commentary is a thing. To speak out against politics and all that stuff is a thing. And once I was very young, and I was talking. I don't know if folks ever heard of Morris Bishop. Ended up getting killed. He was he led a revolt in a revolution in Grenada, and how he started to lay the groundwork for him to be successful is that he would just get 10 people to go everywhere. To the point y'all made earlier, those 10 people, every time he made a point, all they said was "yeah." Every time he said something, "yeah." Yep. So all those people, it made it feel, because in our community, we do not have narrative control.
Right.
My personal belief, we don't have a narrative control over the loud minority.
Right.
Because the loud minority does not represent the needy, the most needy majority.
Exactly.
And, we're not good right now in terms of like, if we had to take a functional health check on our community right now, we got all kind of health problems, right? And
Absolutely.
but I think advocacy is so critical, but I think the missing aspect, that's why we're really trying to push, is like the younger folks have to be younger. Like the folks who really made change, like we just lost Roscoe Baker, right?
Right.
Like folks who really had heavy impact, and it is probably my generation that's failed other folks as well, right? Like the younger folks as well, because like the older folks are looking at us crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
So I got a question from a student.
Wait, hold on. Let me just add one more point to this.
You got it.
One more point is that we have to start creating plans for our neighborhoods. We have to start creating plans for our schools. Right? Think about it. We did not create a plan for Blue Hill Labs. You know what they did? They came up for a plan for us.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a plan for our school. Like the community hasn't created a plan. Like they have written down, worked with all the Black educators, right, to present the BPS. We used to, and that's how we got a lot of programs in there. But now we've gotten away from creating these plans and presenting it. So when we don't create plans, someone else creates plans for our community, whether it's the zoning laws that creates the housing, whether it's the education and curriculum that educates our young people, whether it's the designs of our roads. Like it's not enough. Like I think the next step on saying no is saying what we do want. And then putting that on a piece of paper, getting experts, working with experts. Because again, remember, we are talented. We got doctors, lawyers, educators in our field, developers, architects. So we can put together any plan. And then we present that plan to the city or the state. So we got to get back to planning, putting it in writing, and getting behind whatever plan we create.
If that's the case, somebody got to put out some sort of blueprint for how to conduct a productive meeting.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
You got to pull a Denzel. You got to lead with something.
Yeah.
And
You're
Corey,
right.
you got a picture of me and Roscoe when during the cities. I need that. Shoot me a text.
I got you. I got a few of them. I got a few of them. Shout out to our young people who are following us, and Noah. Shout out to Noah. He's one of the young commissioners. How could BPS City Council and our state leaders work together to invest in the youth creative economy to help young entrepreneurs like me turn digital skills into actual business? I'm gonna leave this up because this is a long question. But shout out to you, Noah. I'll take a stab at it. I think every time a young person asks or makes a similar request to this about this or something similar, I have my thing is like it's already happening somewhere. But if it's already happening, it goes back to the double M, like the message and the messengers, right? Like how Noah should already know where to find that, should already know how to build it, and I think like we have to improve on the messages to our kids. The opportunities are there. Are there enough? No, but like there's never enough for the youth. But I think like the messenger has got to be better and the messages got to be stronger. So if you guys want to take a stab at this question.
Yeah, I would just add,
I got in the. Okay. I filed an earmark for a business that does actually that. We gave them some funding to do it. And just to piggyback what you said, I think there's a lot of organizations that just work in silo, and our job is to get that out there. So Noah, if you hit me up, shoot me an email, and I can connect you with the local organization who does exactly that, investing um, private and public money for businesses and entrepreneurship for our kids.
And I would just add, Corey, we got an event tomorrow that'll put in entrepreneurs,
Absolutely.
young entrepreneurs,
Absolutely.
on the spotlight. So sometimes we can create space and then bring in different partners to see our young people and invest in them. So Corey and I, with Royce and Citizen Bank and ALA Technologies, we're putting together a power pitch competition at Hibernian Hall from 4 to 7. And the winner of that contest will get $1,000, and I believe the second place winner, or the second place person, will get, I believe it's 500, and the third place is 250. So I think what we can always do is work with partners, create platforms to give young people an opportunity to showcase their talents, and then invite organizations and companies to see our talented young people and hope that they can invest in their ideas, like we're doing tomorrow with Power Pitch.
You guys heard it. It's on for all you folks on Instagram right now. Make sure it's in my story. It's on Councilor Worrell's story as well. Shout out to Royce and the work that he's been doing. Obviously, you guys are going to have to be some recurring guests in this situation, because we are getting some good feedback, and I am getting my text messages, and my folks in the chat here are buzzing a little bit. But because it's getting late, and I try to be respectful of folks. Tell us what y'all are working on that the community should be excited about. Chris, I'll go with you. I know you work. Y'all always doing something. Y'all.
Right, I want. You can start with Brian, because I don't want
to. Can I get 50 turkeys this year? Dang.
Corey, what like community wise, policy wise?
Policy, man. Like we
policy,
gotta or both, right? That's another glossary of success, right? Like policy,
yeah.
if there's not what should be non-negotiable in this entire conundrum that we're in right now is the lack of policy, because I can't say the community everybody knows it, they don't, right? Everything we do has to be rooted in policy, right? That's how the folks, everybody else does. That's how everybody else in our suburban counterparts survive. That's how they thrive. That's how they create their sort of generational, and their generational pieces and all the nepotism that comes with that, because their existence is rooted in policy. And but so what are some of the things that you got that we should be excited about? Obviously, every time you guys do something, it's really fun. It's really done well for the community. But what are some of the things that you either are working on or possibly hope to see?
Right.
I'll go first.
Okay,
I'll go first.
He's trying to take the win from me, but go ahead. Go ahead,
No. I'll go first. So,
go ahead.
Legislative season, there's over 8,000 bills every single. I said it's a 2-year session, so we're wrapping up this year, and I filed 32 bills when it comes to Black and brown people. I got the 4th most diverse district in the nation. In the whole America, I got the 4th most diverse district in the nation. One thing.
Where's Underdog? You got to fact check that.
Fact check it, please.
I thought it was Malden, but anyway, go ahead.
No, one thing that is moving is a bereavement bill. So if anyone in your family, if they pass away, be it your mom, your sister or brother, father, whoever in your immediate family, you only get 3 days. And those 3 days have to be consecutive 3 days, 1, 2, 3. And you know, Corey, in our culture, I don't care if you're Caribbean, I don't care if you're African American, I don't care if you're Cape Verdean, like we have to plan. So it takes more than 3 days. So the proposed bill that I said 10 days, non-consecutive, for businesses with over 25 people. You get 10 days for the year because we know trauma is real and you might just need a day just to cry. You need 2 days for the family to come in, family to leave. And that is actually moving through the house. And I feel like in the next 2 months, that should be taken to a vote and then after signed by the governor. And it also broadens the scope of what family looks like. If you're living with a partner for 20 years, your job doesn't respect that. They respect wife, they respect mom, they respect brother. Like, so we looked at that scope and we brought it all the way down to nephew, to partner, living partner, roommate. We brought that down to that to give people time to heal, time to grieve, and giving them 10 days within a year span, non-consecutively, just to grieve, plan, and attend, and not worry about using their comp time, using their sick time, and using you know, no time that we have. So that's one of there's so many bills, but that's a bill I want to talk about that's actually has wings that's moving. And I think by the end of this session, it should be passed into law. And I worked with the Peace Institute to get that bill done. And if you want to go to community stuff, or you want to go to Brian, then we could go to community stuff.
You do whatever you want. This y'all. This
The
Now
floor is
I'll
yours,
go to
Brad.
Brian.
The
You
floor
got
is
2 minutes,
yours.
B, because I know you like to go. Go ahead, talk your
So I'll
policy.
start with community stuff. So every year my brother and I, we do an event called Harlem Lacrosse, where we bring young people from Roxbury and Dorchester and Mattapan, and we teach them how to play a game that we don't have here in all of our Boston Public Schools, lacrosse. We partner with Harlem Lacrosse, and they get free equipment. Everyone gets a stick, but it's something that when it comes to exposure, this is one thing that we like to do is expose people to different things, whether it's sports or careers. In Harlem Lacrosse is something that we do every year, and we get about like 200 young people.
So I think it was like 300 and something last time at the
300
Croc
and
Center.
something. Yeah.
I hate when people think that our community don't get excited about things new, right? Things that are new, like they do. I think they're one thing about Boston. I realize that people love the exclusivity of things, right? We just have a problem with the exclusional side of things. So I really like. I really like the I love the fact that y'all are brothers because y'all have a greater reach and y'all figured out that you could do things more better together than apart, and it really shows. I got two more things for y'all, and I promise I'll let you.
Hold on 1 second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Also, we talking
I didn't
community.
get my policy one.
No, you started with community, so and you can go to policy.
All right.
We're doing an honor roll kickball game, Corey. So we're bringing 60 kids to play kickball.
Where?
Where? Fenway Park.
All right. I'm supposed to go play softball next week at Fenway Park.
So we're bringing 60 honor roll kids, scholar athletes, to play a kickball game. 7th and 8th graders throughout our respective districts to play a kickball game. A tremendous time. This is the 3rd annual. Then we have pizza, and we just praise on our kids for doing a great job throughout the school year. And we have the principals pick them and just instill in them that anything is possible and continue to do the great job. Also, for back to school, we are teaming up with Comcast, and we're giving out 300 yearly subscriptions for internet.
Mm.
So if you do not have internet access, please reach out.
Hit up Corey.
Hit up, yes, hit up Corey. Corey will get it. So we are trying to give internet to 300 students who don't have 300 households that don't have internet that need it through the
5G,
school year.
5G.
We beyond 5G, man.
Hey.
I'm,
That's
I'm,
Five
yeah,
G.
Corey, I'm canceling my internet tomorrow. I'm joking.
and also during that time we'll be giving out a couple hundred computers as well. We did that a couple weeks ago. We
yes,
gave out 100 computers to to honor roll students. But this one is a back to school giveaway. We want to make sure my job before I leave here is to make sure whoever needs a laptop gets a laptop.
facts.
and,
Sin.
and we're and
The colleges are charging kids $1,500.
Wow.
Part of the financial aid package, right? Like a lot of families, they sort of like ease that into the financial aid package, and it looks like a lot, but you could if they get a laptop from one of the Worrell brothers and then waive your insurance because a lot of our kids already have insurance, you could actually save $3,000. Like, like it's a real thing. So keep them laptops coming, and
it's not.
Make sure y'all call me this time around.
and no slight to BPS, but it's not a Chromebook. These are like laptops.
No,
We
Yeah,
we got the touchscreen joints now, though.
one of the dopest story. I'm gonna tell you two stories, and I'll give it to Brian to talk about policy. We're giving out. We're at the Holland, and we're giving out laptops. And I'm looking at this guy. He grabs the laptops and darts right to the teacher, and he's opening it. He's tearing the box up. He turns it on. He was like, "It's real. It's real. It's real." So I ended up going to him. He was like, I never thought in a million years I could have a laptop. And you guys gave me a real laptop. I was like, what'd you expect? He was like, I don't know. And just being a part of that is amazing.
He woke up that day using his phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Now he go home with a laptop.
Yeah. So I was with my son at the corner store, and he's getting chips, and I'm at the cashier, and this kid comes in with a poo shiesty, and he's like, "You're one of the Worrell brothers." Then he darts outside. My heart, I was like, I don't know what's about to happen. So he comes in with an older lady. He was like, "Mom, he's the one that gave me the laptop. He's the one that gave me the laptop." And the mom gave me a hug. I was like, next time you come to someone, like, take off your poo shiesty, man. Put it on your forehead.
We're doing a bit right now.
Yeah. But stuff like that is just truly amazing. And in November, we're going to be giving away somewhere upwards to 5,000 turkeys to families that need it. And I'm done.
Okay. Yeah, leave something for Brian.
Yeah, leave something. I don't know where I can even try and remember what he did not say.
No. I know. I mean, I was gonna fold it into my questions, but let's talk about that HBCU push that you got.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna talk about the HBCU push. So we are pushing to have a HBCU presence here in the city of Boston. We are working with Corey in the district right now to see if they could be a school that we have identified as a HBCU. I don't know what we'll call it. What are we calling it? Like an HBCU track at one of the schools?
It's a pathway towards the
pathway,
right? And shout out to you and your leadership and all the folks who are doing that. What that would mean is that a school can get students from 7th and 8th, from as early as 7th and 8th grade, to have multiple entry points to an HBCU. And the beauty of HBCUs is that HBCUs have belongings. Belonging is a system at HBCU.
Right.
HBCU. So like when you're going to when you're talking about that pathway, you have to have X amount of courses that reflects the level and the sort of the community and the experience of an HBCU. Whether it's a certain kind of civic engagement, it might be Black studies, it might be the history of hip hop as civic engagement, as civil rights, as part of the civil rights movement. All those pieces that prepare you so you don't go on end up at Hampton University looking like you're a novice, right? I think one of the things about the college tour is that there's a bunch of statues at Hampton that I have to explain to half the kids who the people are. So like those are the pieces that get you HBCU ready. And then on the back end, our plan is to talk to those HBCUs so that long term, the hope is that they will give the students in this pathway in-state credit.
In-state credit, yeah.
So that they could be their financial package will be an in-state because despite what people think about Boston Public Schools, like I've been all over the country. I work with just all over the country. The Boston student is revered as an intellectual individual, right? Like it's you could argue with your ancestors all you want. The kids here are brilliant and they're smart and they're borderline genius level. So shout out to you for that.
I just want to add one last thing around HBCUs is that HBCUs, I believe, make up around 3 or 5% of all colleges and universities, but they produce 50% of our engineers, 50% of our Black lawyers, 50% of like our Black doctors.
Yep.
So they have a real understanding on how to develop and create Black talent. And that's what we need more of here in Boston. They also produce 100% of Black vice presidents.
Yeah.
So that is what we need that type of development of our talent, an institution that's intentionally and knows how to develop the talent in BPS to make them our doctors, engineers, CEOs, CFOs, right? Because that's what we need here in Boston with all these great and organizations that are Google and Amazon. Like we need to make sure that there's an institution that's developing our Black talent to have those high-end jobs in those industries.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's the hardest part of going to an HBCU is dealing
the funding
with the technical pieces, the bursar's office, but the folks who graduate and deal with that, their skills are next level and they're 21st century skills, right? And our kids, if you come from a certain neighborhood that has experiences or relationships with poverty, you inherently should know how to communicate. You inherently should know how to function within a team. You inherently should know how to listen, absorb, and sort of regurgitate, and function as such, right? Those are all 21st century skills. So I really look forward to all of the things that you guys continue to bring to the table. I think our kids and our community deserves to really open their ears and have a lot thicker skin around like the things that you guys are pushing for us to do. It's hard enough like being Black, and I say in the educational space. I'll tell you this much: what smart and intelligent white folks understand is the power of a brilliant Black student. Black students bring something to the table that everybody benefits from, right? And I think when people feel a little weird that you push that agenda, which I am unapologetic about because I understand it makes life better for Black students, Hispanic students, Asian students, and white students, and then our Native folks and folks who from other cultures. It's just what it is because of how that if you apply the historical context and the levels of like resistance historically that we've had to deal with to put us in this situation for us to be able to navigate this space that works against us. That doesn't take a day off against us, right? So
Right.
we're gonna do this rapid answer because I cannot go without having these two questions asked by young boys, right?
Go ahead.
So,
Yeah, let's do it.
all right. Noah, again, really quick, as leaders who have built your own paths to get where you are today, what is the single biggest piece of advice to give to young students to try to build their own path in Boston right now?
Don't let
Yes.
don't
I would go ahead.
don't
Go ahead,
let
Rap.
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brian.
Go ahead, Rap.
I'm rapid fire. Don't let anyone tell you can't. Period. Keep pushing.
And I would say that I would be lying to say if I did anything on my own. So get you a team that you could trust and that you could build with. So get a lot of people you could trust, build with, and go with them.
Yeah, I wanted to say something so smart when Corey was talking about when black people come to the table, everyone benefits.
Everyone wins. Show me where it hasn't worked.
No, I wanted to say it.
But I'm talking. I'm not even talking to you. I'm talking to whoever. Like,
Yeah.
Literally, it's the original algorithm, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And we know, and you're looking.
Over here, build this. Come over here and create that. You know,
but you're also looking at the algorithm, how he came up. You was making fun of. I was listening. He was making fun of Brian. How did he go to Mecca? But that's a whole nother segment.
Oh, that's a whole.
That's a whole other segment.
Talk about that.
Wait, when did he say that?
He said that in the beginning.
I didn't see that.
For my young boy Enzi, what steps are being taken to ensure that Boston remains as progressive and inclusive as a city as it currently is? And I'll tell you why that's an excellent question. Because the folks need to push back against some of the current policies and discussions happening with the judicial system. So essentially, what can we live in this space that we're proud of, right? We go to each other as a community, but like we're proud that there's inclusivity, a lot of inclusivity and progressiveness here. But given what's happening in a larger climate, what are folks doing to sort of like shield our young people? And this is a young black man from some of the things that are happening nationally that are clearly structurally and intentionally designed to honestly like destroy the black community.
I think answer it quick. Yeah, what's his name? Enzi and any other person that's listening to this right now, you guys live in probably one of the best states in America. We are a commonwealth, so we have an umbrella that protects us from any rainstorm that comes from the federal government. That's why when you hear about canceling DEI and doing all this stuff, it really doesn't touch Boston. It doesn't touch Massachusetts, I should say. And if you look at the landscape of your elected body, in the state house, I'll talk about the state house. They had 5 black and brown elected officials when they started the Black and Latino Legislative Caucus. Now we're at 24. So we all 24 of us are fighting for you on the state level. If you see the number jumped up 19, and those numbers will continue to jump up as I look at open seat races and polls that are happening, and there's going to be more black and brown people continuing to get these seats on the state level. We have a black woman AG, Attorney General. Like, if you look at the landscape, it is totally different than 3-4 years ago. And
Liz joined the IG. She might still be on here. Shout out to Liz.
Yeah.
Shout out to Senator Miranda. What's up, Liz? Roxbury Liz. Go ahead, Rap.
I'm done.
I will say that take a look, and I guess I'm gonna speak to one thing before I go into the actual question. So I know that we talk about progressive a lot, but take a look at what people who are progressive are voting on. That's first and foremost, right? So you also like don't let the title or that umbrella progressive um catch you off guard. Always be focused on what the policy is doing, right? And how that person, that progressive candidate, that progressive elected official is voting on that policy. That's also with our elected officials of color too, right? There's a line that goes all skin folk and kinfolk, right? And that goes with all like the progressive folks. All progressive folks don't want progressive policies, right? So just make sure that you are paying attention to that. Don't get fooled by labels or anything else. I would say here in Boston, it's not
He
just on
says
the
rapid
federal level.
fire.
It's not just on the federal level, but right now here in Boston, there's a budget that is before the Boston City Council that is taking $5.9 million away from youth jobs. The State House, although the state rep has said that this is one of the best states in in the country, they are taking $2.5 million away from youth jobs. So that's $8.5 million not coming to youth jobs here in the city of Boston,
But you
which is
can't,
going to result.
you
Hold
can't.
on, I'm not done. Give me my floor. Y'all don't got no decorum over there at the State House. That is $8.5 million not going to youth jobs to the city of Boston, which will result in nearly 2,000 young people not having jobs here in Boston. And what is the trickle down effect with young people not having things to do in the summer or after school, right? So we are fighting that fight right now on the Boston City Council alongside other budget cuts that we're looking to restore that impact vulnerable communities. So this is what we are fighting for, not only on the federal level, but here in the city hall and at the State House to tell them to put back that $2.5 million to get our young people a job. And then also to the on the city side, getting $5.9 million along a host of a whole lot of things. $750,000 was cut from Black male advancement. There was money cut from food justice. There was money cut from city housing vouchers. That's home ownership and rental assistance. There was money cut from the arts department. So we are working and fighting against those cuts.
Shout out to Elijah too.
He
And
rich in the building, man.
yeah, our budget's not over, so I'm
So
our budget's not over.
I'm gonna say something controversial before I ask my next question. Right? There's a part of me, right, that is comfortable with this particular budget cut because it has prompted a discussion as to what would happen if the money was there and who would it go to, and why we need to look at where the money. Like, I don't want to see kids sitting around gyms in the summer.
Right. I agree.
I don't want to like people say whatever they want. The red shirts, give me the red shirts. Give me the blue shirts. Who was the supervisors? But if somebody from City Hall came out and was like, "Yo, yeah, we're gonna give you our money," but like, I want them in financial literacy. I want them in career exploratory. I want them to getting the soft skills together. I want all those things I want those things to happen instead of saying you're doing those things. So
on the state level,
Corey,
we put about $5 million
the district should be running
financial
the summer
literacy.
job. Cody, I always said that the district should be running the summer jobs. The school district.
Don't give Corey McCarthy $5 million. Y'all kids are gonna come back and switch ties.
That's a $20 million. That's a $20 million budget.
Fifth quarter this year for BPS is $5 million, sir.
No. I'm talking about the summer jobs budget.
The summer jobs. I mean,
yeah.
No, I mean, like, and you know what, folks, when they have it, they do a good job. But for me, I struggle with the for-profit, non-profit behavior because I want folks to. We have to do a better job auditing what kids are doing. Every single there's every single kid, and this is not just a BPS thing, right? We should all know every single kid. Every kid, we should all know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Every single kid should have a blue check next to what they're doing. Like we got to start blue checking kids, even the kids who are core and justice involved, right? Because whatever, you never know when that light bulb turns on, or sometimes when kids act up, it's because they're trying to show us the way to engage with them. So my whole thing is yes. Let's send the money back, but I think there needs to be particular guardrails and audits on how on what the kids are doing when they have jobs.
I 100% agree.
Because when don't come. I got me some 15 jobs this summer, right? You're gonna have a full day. Right? You're gonna be working Saturdays and Sundays, but the experience matters more than the actual number. So when are we going to measure the experience and make the experience richer than the number? And that's just my piece on it. And I don't like getting involved in politics because I hate it. So, but that's why my good brother's here doing that work.
No, I agree with you 100%, 100% on that. And I think the school district BPS should have more of a role inside of the summer jobs and the after school jobs. And I think it should be lined up, hopefully with their curriculum or, what they plan on doing after BPS. So I agree with you 100%. And I think a lot of the work BPS should own because they already have our young people, majority of the year. And they've had them for, by the time they have a summer job, 8 years already, 9 years.
What is the you should be able to that should be a part of your portfolio.
It should be part of your portfolio. Right.
You had 5 years of having a job.
Right.
You tell me you sitting around the gym is something that you're going to present on? Hell no.
Nope.
Right? It needs to be, hey, I tried this internship at the Sports Leadership Academy or whatever. That's why some of the programs we're running this summer is strictly focused on learn and earn. Right? I'll tell you straight up. We're paying kids to learn. And they're going to learn things like we had the braiding program. Some of these kids who did the braiding, they went on to, everybody needs a haircut or their hair done in college. Some kids are paying for their way. That's the thinking that we need. But not everybody's behind that because we are so focused on the perception of things that we allow that to sort of cloud the actionables, right? When we're around here as nouns, we need to be verbs. So, I'm really grateful that you guys joined. You guys got to come back.
We'll be back.
You guys got to come back. But
we'll come back earlier.
I want y'all.
No, it's past my bedtime, Corey.
You be all right. You gotta. You probably gotta. You probably don't even drive yourself. You got a driver or something like that. But one last thing, really quick, is. Chris gave that state money.
Got an elite backsplash. Yep. you got recessed lights over there.
No, I thought that was a background. But really quick, one, and I like to end with a prompt. Recommend a book to somebody, man.
I like
a book that you read or something. Hey, you can say the Bible. Because I know how you get down.
No, I gave it out last year, and I'm reading it again. It's called The Other Wes Moore. If you guys don't know who Wes Moore is, he is the governor of Maryland, and hopefully a candidate for president, and hopefully the next president. It's another Wes Moore. They both grew up in the same city, same name, around the same age. One is doing life in prison, and the other, I just told you about the other, is the governor of Maryland, and it talks about their life journey and how two black men from the same city with the same name with different outcomes. It's a great read. The other Westmore.
Another Westmore. I would say I'm gonna give you two books that I think that
He
most
said
people
one.
read.
He said one. Pay
Oh, I'm gonna
attention.
give them two. Well, one is The Chain of Change by Mel King, which gives like an account and a history of Black Boston in the movement throughout. I think it's the '60s all the way up to the maybe '90s, maybe '80s, '90s. A great book to read. And then one that I'm reading now is Rules for Radical by Sololinsky, which I'm only like in our second chapter, but it talks about organizing around social issues.
Mm, mm. You know, somebody said to me, and I never quite understood it. I'd rather own property and be illiterate than be renting and reading. And the idea of our young people and folks getting access to, I could teach somebody who's illiterate with property how to read. But the idea of whatever we're working towards, whatever you're working towards as politicians in your role, what we got to do better to help our folks and help our folks learn how to get property.
Right.
This is a nation of loans and a nation of property. And we have to figure out how to navigate or create some sort of algorithm where we can, where we can own things, right? And get our own real property tax to improve our school buildings. But that's a whole nother rant for the old.
Yeah, we could come back because we
can come back.
I got a whole lot of property bills and everything else, and we need to tell the State House to come up off that bond bill that they created.
So this is my book here, right? An African American and Latinx history of the United States. For me, I've always been fascinated with the divide between Latinx and Hispanic culture and black culture and that intersection, because of how the manipulation of both cultures have created a level of anti-blackness that doesn't need to be when we should be allied. This really talks about the Tainos in Puerto Rico. It talks about how folks generally use anti-blackness as a tool to create a racial hierarchy. So whenever you get a chance, check it out by Paul Ortiz. But fellas, much love and respect, man. Thank you.
One last thing, Corey. I'm going to be real quick. One of my mentors told me when I was in middle school, and maybe it was high school, he told me that there's two things that will change your life: the books you read and the people you meet.
Facts. You sound like that. You going my alley. I tell kids all the time: learn to read, learn to write, choose your friends. Life works out that way. If you choose your friends right, you're straight.
Yep.
You know, I tell kids all the time. I got a group chat of like 85 of my friends, and I can go to multiple cities and stay for free. Your network is your net worth. So appreciate y'all, man. Keep up the great work. And if there's anything y'all need me to, if you need me to bring 10 people to yell, yeah, at your meetings, let me know. And I appreciate y'all being politicians, so I don't have to deal with any of the other politicians. Y'all know I hate politics. So with that,
I appreciate you, Corey. Have a good night.
When y'all see these brothers in public, make sure you shake their hand. But thank you.
And take off the poo shiesty.
Take off your shicey, man. Before I mace one of y'all later.